Tuesday. So I hope everybody is having a great day today. So I want to discuss about older men dating younger women. So I met a young lady and she's in her 20s. She is old enough to be my niece. She's old enough to be my niece. As a matter of fact, I have a niece that's her age. And she was telling me that her friend of 24 years old is dating a 50-year-old. And he has a son her age. And I'm like, gross. And I'm like, you need to tell your, and this 50-year-old is not allowing her friend, which is in her 20s, 24, to experience things, go places. She's basically isolating her. And I told her, you better tell your friend that she needs to find herself a young man of her youth. Okay. Now, I'm going to say this off of experience. When I was in my 20s, dating an older man was definitely out of the question. Why? Because they old. I mean, I just had a like, you know what I mean? Like, for what? You know, like what can we possibly relate to? So my sister, who I love very dearly, but she was hard-headed at the time, she decided that she wanted to date someone our father's age. He was actually older than our dad. Ridiculous. Matter of fact, even when we were in high school, she was dating someone who was in his 30s. And here you are. How old was he? How old was he? Was old. He had to be like 31. And here you are, 16 years old, a hard-headed girl. And she got pregnant by her first baby father. He was in his 30s, and she was only 16 years old, and he knew better. She went through hell and high water dating him because he wanted to control her. But she didn't want to listen to nobody. So later on down the line, here she is, 19, I want to say about 19 years old. She's marrying a man who's practically in his late 40s, basically hitting his 50s. Around that time, he was older. My father, I don't know how old. My father was like 20-something odd years older than us. But, hold on, my father was 67 when he passed. So he's 26 years old. This guy's 27 years older than my sister. And my sister married him, and he ruined her life. He did. He ruined her life. So, anyway, let me go back to my thought process on this, okay? Oh man, that dude look like he's so far gone. My thought process on this. Here you have a 24-year-old. She just started dating this guy, and already he's isolating her away from her friends. She can't go out places that she want to go. He corrects her. He basically treats her like his daughter. And I'm like, I don't understand what's going on with young women, why you feel that you have to have some old timer. And maybe it's daddy issues, and maybe some people like that type of stuff. I know me, when I was in my 20s, absolutely not. Like I had to be able to have some conversation with you where I could relate. An older guy, to me, you can just sense he got a wife and he got children, and his children about, couldn't imagine going around the way and your kids around my age, or your daughter is literally only a couple of years younger than me, and I'm supposed to be the stepmama. That's nuts. That's nuts. And it is really just mind-blowing to me how these guys go out here and they prey upon women or young women that's basically their kids' age. It's nasty and gross. It is gross. So when she told me his age, I'm just thinking to myself in disgust, like, what dude would do this? So anyway, all I can say to the young women out there is date somebody your youth. Please, because you date somebody older than you, they're going to drain like freaking vampires. They're going to drain the youth out of you. They're going to want you to listen to their old music. They're going to want you not to have fun and be youthful and go out with the girls of your youth, the women of your youth. They're going to want you to be isolated. And this is what she tells me, that the girl, she's not allowed to go to the door if a delivery guy comes, because if she's out there too long, he feels some type of way. If his friends come over, she has to stay in the back room. I'm like, say what? I'm like, what are we on Color Purple here? That is an insecure man. And I'm like, she better run like it ain't no tomorrow. Those type of dudes, you're going to be in an abuse. That's already psychologically, it's abusive. And it's only a matter of time when he start laying his hands on you, start slapping you across your face, because he wants to control you. I'm trying to tell the young women out there, date somebody in your youth, or at least in the range, 5 years above. I get it, but when you talking 24 years, when you talk about at the age that they could have produced you as a child, that's too freaking old. That's too freaking old, unless you want some money type stuff. But I'm not understanding I'm not understanding that. Like, no, like, date somebody your youth. Somebody when if you fall, he can pick you up like a feather, not his back going out because he like an old mule. Like, what's up with y'all in this? Like, I don't care what type of car he drive. Like, he old. He old, and it gotta be something. If there was a woman of his youth that he done left behind, like, nah, why you want some rusted excuse my mouth, why you want some rusted bucket? Like, I just don't, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And I saw my sister, what she went through, trying to be old before time, dressing real old, listening to, I like oldies but goodies, but she was just listening to it all the time because that's what her man listened to, because his old behind. He walking around with like 15 rings on his fingers, looking old, walking old. Ain't nothing cute about that old dude, but it was, sister just thought like, hey, and at the end of the day, she was never supposed to be with him because he still had a living wife. And my sister lost her mind behind that. And I mean lost her mind. All he wanted her to be was barefoot and pregnant. And she had baby after baby after baby. That she suffered horrible with postpartum depression, dealing with an old man. And she didn't have her own money. She didn't have her own things. So she depended on him. And he knew that. You got some men out here, they want to basically put a rope behind your neck. They feel like they got dogs out here, and so what they do is they know ain't no grown woman gonna deal with that. Are you kidding me? Boy, bye. No grown woman is gonna put up with some grown nasty man. So that same grown nasty man, he goes around and he prays after young women. He may throw a couple of dollars up there, and they like, oh, he got a lot of money. Girl, that ain't nothing. The name of the game is this. If the deed ain't in your name, it's nothing. If the title is not in your name, it's nothing. I remember back in the day, I thought I was doing something because I'm driving around in his car, and me and my girls looking fly. If it ain't in your name, it's nothing. It's nothing. And so, the young lady proceeded to tell me, like, her friend is like, she can't talk on the phone. Of course not. He got to isolate her. He has to drain the youthness out of her. She can look like a hot daggone mess because she's messing with the mess. He has to make sure she bandaged and covered up so nobody else won't look at her. And then he has to put her away in the room because it's very embarrassing, the simple fact that you preying on basically your daughter's age or your son's age. Oh, that's nasty. It's nasty. It's nasty. Nah, it ain't nothing cute about that. Now, I get it. If, some people who ain't never been married may have married a young a young woman and he ain't never been married, she ain't never been married. Hey, that's it, that's done. But I say right here, y'all that's out here dating, and especially when you looking at a man that's of age, you know he been married before and he got a whole tribe of kids and grandkids. Ugh. Niece, you can do better than that, baby. It's too many of these young men around here. And even if you can't find them in the backyard around the globe, but to sit up here and be dealing with somebody that's 50,